What we're going to do now is talk about how you can create an amazing YouTube thumbnail. So there's different things that you can do. You could just take the image, make sure the exposure is good or whatnot. But what you want to do is basically be able to add text and then make it really catchy through color, composition, and different elements like that. So if you look over here, YouTube thumbnail dimensions, this is what I use. I do 1280 by 720. Even if you go online, you can find this. But 1280 by 720 is going to be good enough for phones and when people are viewing this on their desktops. So you go File, New, and I have a preset one right here, 1280 by 720. So all I do is create new, click this, and I'm ready to go. Or you could type it in here. You could do, 1280, 720, and then that'll give you your YouTube dimensions. So let's do that. And what we want to do next is find the image that we're using. So the scenario that I'm creating is it's going to be a photography, say it's a photography channel, and I want to show you how to make a catchy thumbnail for I guess what we'll call it, Camera Hacks 101. So file, open, and then this is just an old photo of me taking photos. So kind of a goofy photo, but anyways, how do we make this look cool? How do we make this something catchy that you would, see online? What we can do first, we'll just double click that and we'll call it Camera Hacks, and that will allow us to work with the image. Let's see what we can do here. So let's drag it onto our untitled one. And this is actually a pretty big image, so what we'll do is adjust the size a little bit. We'll get it closer. So we'll get it so it just fits a little bit bigger height-wise. We'll put it in the middle. So now this is kind of what we're working with. So right here, let's see what we can do in terms of making this a cooler image. So we have Camera Hacks, and then we're going to add another layer. We're going to call this layer text. And then let's start off by eliminating the background. So again, let's select the image. And then for this, let's use the polygonal tool. So what we're going to do is just start working our way around the image. We'll keep this fairly quick and simple, but this is going to be a really cool way to make your thumbnails pop, for your YouTube channel. And then again, I mean, you could utilize this for posters or any different kind of graphic design or artwork that you're working on as well. It goes hand in hand and it works with anything. No matter what you're really designing. Again, you want to take your time with it. This is just for instructional uses. That's why I'm going fairly quickly here. But again, you could actually do this where I like it for our one sports channel, where I make the edges kind of harsh. Here I'm trying to keep them, where I'm clicking a little bit more, but I do it where I keep the edges harsh. And it just makes things kind of like the uniform of the image is just a little bit different. It's a little bit harsher, and it kind of adds a nice little effect as well. This is definitely a cool, this is a really cool aspect that you can do. So again, we'll keep this fairly quick. Again, what we're doing, we're just going to remove myself from the background. That's all we're doing. So what we can do is, because we already did so much, I don't want it to get ruined. What we'll do is connect this and we'll just hit delete. And then we'll work on a different area. Just kind of zoom in there. So we've already deleted those parts. And we'll fine tune it a bit more. Trust me, this will be cool. And again, the idea behind this is simply just to show you how to utilize both photos and text for your YouTube thumbnails. It's gonna, I'm gonna show you a simple way to, make your thumbnails pop so you can, get more people to have a better click-through rate, right? You want to have more people clicking on your videos, and one way of doing that is simply to have better thumbnails as well. So if we hit delete there, now I'm almost all removed. What we're going to do is just use that eraser tool, bring up the size, select the layer, and just get rid of the rest there. What we're going to do is just get rid of the rest. That's a little bit too big there. Just like so. So now we've completely removed me from the background. Now, we want to make this background a little bit cooler. What I want to do right away though, is just make the edges a little bit better. So I'm going to take the eraser, select the area, and just kind of round some things off. Like even my nose, it shouldn't be pointy at all. And then we could make the size smaller. And yeah, you just kind of go in there, readjust the lips a little bit softer. Just things that shouldn't be so pointy, we'll make a little adjustment there. Clear it up around the hands. And again, depending on the resolution, it'll be easier as well. So when you're working with Photoshop, you want to make sure that you have everything named properly, and that's going to be a very important aspect. So if this was like one of your art images that you created too, and you're trying to put on YouTube or show somebody, like this is a cool way you could add text and make it pop. Be like, hey, check out this video. Look how I created this. It all goes hand in hand. It's just a way to kind of show off your work. So this is what I've been doing for some YouTube, and I'll show you some of the images I've been using. I've also been using canva.com a little bit, and that's where I'll create this and then bring some of it into Canva to keep everything kind of uniform. But you could do the exact same thing right here on Photoshop. So I'll just fix the hair a little bit, it's fine. So boom. Now we've separated myself from the backdrop. Now we can start doing some more. Let's get into the text. So again, this is going to be top camera hacks. So say the title of the video is going to be, best camera hacks. This is going to be, or say the title is going to be top 10 camera hacks. This will be the best camera hacks. So this doesn't have to be the same title. We'll make it camera hacks. And we'll make this a bit smaller. And the color we'll keep simple. For now, it'll be black. And we'll make the top bold And then we'll add the text and we'll bring that layer underneath my photo. That's going to add a little more of that three-dimensional look. So now we got camera hacks right around the camera. So that's really cool, starting to get there. And then what we're going to do is just change the font here. I'm going to make this something a little bit simple. We'll do like an Arial bold. That's fine. And we'll make the size just a tad smaller for the hacks. There we go, camera hacks. And then the title, you can make it whatever you want as well. And then we'll put the A. Kind of didn't want to put it around the hair, but we'll keep it around the camera because the hair is kind of a tricky area of the image. Something like that. And then again, with the backdrop, we already have something that's starting to get there. So let me show you a cool aspect. So let's isolate just the photo and let's duplicate that, and that'll be the backdrop pick. So what we can do is take the bottom layer, bring it under or over and under a touch. So now our bottom layer we're playing with here, we're going to double click that, add a little drop shadow, and then a color overlay. And then this color we're going to make, we'll go with the red. So now we have this cool camera hacks. Then with the text, you can already see that starting to pop a little bit. And then one issue we have with the photo, you could do something like this. One image you do have with the photo is you need to erase a little bit more. So all this up here, we're just gonna have to fix up a little bit. There we go. And then here with the text, I don't want that bold, except for the camera. So boom, camera hacks. Now what we're gonna do is create a new background layer, and we're gonna add color. So again, we'll stick with the blue and the red. Make this kind of, not necessarily like the water, but a little bit closer. And we'll add our little bucket tool. We'll right click to the gradient and we'll work our way from the left side to the bottom right until we can kind of get the color that we like. Yeah, something like that. And then we'll make a darker one. And then we'll even further that as well. And then the text, now we can start changing our colors a little bit. Here we'll just keep it a nice white. And then what we'll do is add a little drop shadow and make some distance. And we'll just add a little bit of size. We'll make the harshness a little bit there. So there you go. Now things are just popping. It's more of a three-dimensional look. And as you can see, we have a lot of spots that we need to fix. So let's just kind of go in there a little bit. And let's use the eraser tool and just fix some of the white areas that are showing here. because that's going to be the most apparent in the image. That's a little bit much. Around the hair is going to be the most difficult, but again, just make it smaller. You could fine tune all that. This, you just want to take your time if you want to make it better. Some images are going to be easier than others, but this is one way you can definitely go about doing this, and it just takes your standard image and adds a lot of life to it. Again, just kind of work your way pretty quickly to, depending on how much time you have. We can go all the way to like 1%, zoom in, really get into those areas around the hair. The hair is just a tough spot, right? It's always going to be tougher to play with. And good thing I have short hair too, that makes this easier. But you can see within the pixels what needs to be eliminated, and it just takes time, but you could go through that all day. But then again, let's add this, and then since we have our backdrop color, we will change this to something a little bit darker, so darker red, or we can go lighter, whatever you want. For us, we could also make it blue, so we could just hit the blue, make that a nice darker kind of blue. If we want it to be a little more blended. I do kind of like the red though. Working well with those colors. And then the opacity we could change just slightly. So then again, you could add whatever you want to it as well. You could add a little drop shadow to kind of blend in those imperfections, just like that. And then just make sure that you erase kind of the top area of the images there, so everything kind of blends nice. So, and again, you just take your eraser and fix up the top. So that is how you create a really cool YouTube thumbnail. So we went from this image to this for camera hacks. Again, you could use different colors. There's different ways you can go about it, but this is one way you can create some pretty awesome thumbnails.